Yeah, so I mean, he's an addict, you know. Stop that. He's an addict. He's addicted to blood, and I think we all know people who, somewhere in our lives that have some kind of addictions, and that's Mitchell's thing, you know. And it's easy to kind of sympathise and empathise with that kind of character, I think. And it's easy to kind of play somebody like that that's severely flawed, but on a quest for the greater good, if you like, you know. So yeah, I mean, that's what he's about. It's a struggle, and it's a long and winding road, but who knows, he might get there. Is he going to get there, Toby?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll open it up to audience questions in a minute, but first, Toby, just wanted to ask you to sort of talk about where this first season, where the arc's going, and what other things we can look forward to.
I guess, I suppose, character by character, I said that for Annie, it's a quest trying to find out the circumstances of her death. And, well, it's two things, really. She wants to discover why and how she died. And then, which she does about halfway through the series. And because she believes that when she's done that, she'll be able to move on and, complete her journey. When she's done that, she finds that she's still here, she's still rooted on Earth, and she doesn't understand why. And so the rest of the series becomes her finding out why, that there is still something that she needs to do, some purpose she has to fulfill. For George, for George, he's always been somebody who compartmentalizes his life, who everything is very rigidly structured, everything is kept separate. The werewolf condition is something that happens to him once a month, and that's it. The moment it stops, he never thinks about it again, or tries not to. He basically pretends that he doesn't have this condition. And over the course of the series, it's him learning to accept what he is. And there comes a point at the end of the first series where, for the first time, he actually uses it in a very deliberate sense. For Mitchell, Mitchell has a constant battle both with himself and also with the other vampires who are exerting a pressure to kind of bring him back into the fold. They feel an enormous sense of betrayal that he's left them and set up house with these two other creatures. And so for him, it's him also coming to terms with his vampirism, and he goes through the process of also his relationship with humanity, which kind of goes through highs and lows. And there comes a point later on in the series where he believes that humanity are the monsters, and action happens accordingly. So that's kind of it.
Looks good. All right, so let's have some questions from the audience. When you ask your question, say your name, and please, just out of consideration for everyone else wanting to ask, just ask one question.
Hi, my name is Jill. Love the show, love the cast.
Thanks, Jill.
My question is, the mythology and the story arcs are really interesting, but at the heart of the show is a story about a girl in an abusive relationship, a guy who's a recovering addict who's trying to stay away from the bad crowd, and another guy who's got a really bad STD that he doesn't want to pass on to his
We're talking about the characters, right?
So, I really enjoy...
I thought it was just a voice from above.
So I see a lot of social allegory in the show, and I wonder if you could talk about how much of that is intentional, the social allegory.
Just the STD part.
I don't know if you know much about how people become werewolves, but it tends not to be like that. Otherwise, that kind of makes a lot of sense of the relationship with Tully in episode 2. I guess the thing is that, in a way that whenever we were coming up with storylines for the series, we always had to find the human analogy. For example, Tully in episode 2, basically, on a human level, that's a story about a guy they met in a pub who asked if he could stay one night on the sofa and ends up staying for weeks and weeks and weeks. And in a sense, we all kind of know that guy, we all know that person. And when I was writing that episode, I couldn't work, I couldn't unlock the story. And as soon as I made that connection and found out what the human basis of that, what the human analogy is, then it unlocked the story. And it's like, well, if you have that guy, what does he do? Well, he eats all the food, he stinks out the bathroom, and he makes a pass at the girl. And again, that sort of completely unlocked the story. And so in terms of those things, that's always been the case. In every single story, it's about finding what the human reference point, the kind of point of contact that makes it kind of accessible. Do you see what I mean?
Next.
Hi, my name is Nisan. I was wondering if we're ever gonna hear what Annie whispered to Owen to send him running.
You know, I don't. I know you don't. I'm not telling you.
I don't know how he found out, Toby, I promise.
Did you tell him?
No, I didn't.
How do you know? Why do I not know? Why not?
I didn't tell him.
I think the
Do you actually know?
Yeah, no, I don't know. He knows.
I know.
He knows.
No, you're not.
No.
Basically, if I don't know, you're definitely not.
Thank you.
No, I think the thing is that the thing that she told him was the scariest thing in the world, and my scariest thing in the world is going to be different to yours and different to everyone else's. And so I think that the moment that it's articulated, some people are going to go, oh God, that's creepy, and other people are going to go, oh God, that's really lame. So I think it's probably best left undefined.